What up? How you doing?
So did you actually beat the DLC?
No, not good enough.
Yeah, I've been wanting to kind of dabble. I didn't want to say play. I want to say dabble with Elden Ring because I'm not really one of those Souls-like people. The rage in my heart is too real to even toy with that shit for too long. But I feel like Elden Ring is easy enough and broad enough for me to kind of just like, oh yeah, I can fit this in from time to time. But when I was playing like Bloodborne and stuff, dude, I wanted to fucking kill children at the hospital and stuff, dude. It's not for me. I don't got the right personality profile for those kinds of things. I will karate chop my desk in half.
Yeah, that's fair. And that's very big of you to understand that would be you. But it would still be very funny to see.
Yeah, I mean, the content would be gold. But the trips to the hospital due to the high blood pressure and heart failure is not going to be gold. It's going to be miserable for me. I actually was just playing X Defiant the other day, and I had 3 games in a row where I was on the team of basically 3 different games, 3 different lobbies, all window lickers, all tongue biters, like dudes who are just like amazed that they're in a digital world where they're just like, oh shit, and they're looking at the fucking sky and just ADS walking like all over the place in an arena shooter and shit, and I'm just getting like clapped from like right next to them. Like an enemy will walk up like next to them, they won't see them, they'll walk by, and then the enemy will just keep trucking towards me because I'm over here like sliding and fighting everybody and all this other shit, and all these other guys are just fucking goldfish. And I got so angry that I feel like I felt my heart flutter, and I had to stop because I started getting dizzy again.
We're getting old. It's more and more dangerous to be put in that headspace.
Yeah, especially if you play a multiplayer game. I'm going to speak broadly here, but I firmly stand by what I'm about to say. Everyone is so dumb. It's crazy. Like, a video game is a finite set of rules, understandable and exploitable. And the average group of people playing any game at any given time, just fucking ridiculous, dude. And it's like, well, not everybody cares about gaming. You know, some people have jobs and lives. Yeah, so do I know. But like, why are you going to do anything and not at least try to be better at it? You know, you can only slam your head into a brick wall so many times before you got to be like, I should try something different. You know, that's also probably the arena shooter crowd. The arena shooter crowd is not, what would I say, the highest on the intellectual level when it comes to, you know, just decision making.
Yeah, I'm notorious for and it's kind of my shtick. I didn't do it on purpose, but now if I am finding difficulty in a game, something happens in my brain where I say, okay, I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to approach it the same way hundreds of times until it just works. And using the tools that I have, like, and that's what's funny. People say, oh, we'll just come back later. It's like, no. I'm going to do it right now. And you're going to fucking sit here and watch me do it 200 times until something randomly, some fluke happens that gives me the victory.
The RNG clicks.
Yep. And that's just how I do things. I don't know why. I feel like it's not healthy.
Are you doing that in multiplayer games?
No, I don't really play multiplayer games.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. But if you had that mentality in, like, you know, X Defiant, Call of Duty, CS, like whatever, man, everybody would just be like, bro, 8 games in a row, you've got killed off that same corner. You're not going to make any adjustments? No, one day I will pick that guy off that corner at the start of the game. Well, you're not doing it ever. Maybe time for a new plan. But yeah, single player obviously doesn't matter. I think especially when I was growing up, I was very much that same way with, like, Chrono Trigger was like one of my big ones. Shining Force 2, another big game for me when I was growing up. And it's just like, no, I'm just going to keep using the same guys and get him so strong that eventually skill or tactical ability doesn't matter. I'm just going to one-shot everything.
Yeah.
What's wrong? You seem a little down.
I'm fucking sick. I woke up last night. I was, I started feeling it, and I'm usually, I don't get sick. I get sick maybe once every fucking 5 years. And last night I was like in the denial stage. I was like, it's probably just allergies, you know? Then I woke up like 7 a.m. to go to work. So I left at like 6, and I woke up and I was all right, and then I started changing, and I like started getting like the chills. I'm like, fuck, like I'm sick. Like this is it. Yeah. And then working was fucking awful. And now I'm feeling all right. I'm just feeling like so drained. I got a lot of medicine in me though, so there's that.
Just got back from a hectic day at work. The weight of being sick's weighing down on you, and you're this close to being done with the day, but you got to sit down and talk to me for a fucking hour as the final boss.
Nah, I still have to stream tonight. That's the final boss. I actually got home and then took a nap, and then set my clock 15 minutes before this. And then, so I feel good. I feel well rested. I just feel gross. I just feel like I'm not good at being sick. So usually I fucking kick it out within 24 hours. So, but it still sucks because I have tomorrow off and I don't want to be fucking sick on my day off. But it looks like that's what's going to happen.
Hell yeah. Get fucked, nerd.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of very important questions for you I've been thinking about all day.
Okay. I'm afraid, but yeah.
I need you to answer them, even if I've already asked you these questions. Do you consent?
I consent. I can edit out the bad questions.
No. This is the do not edit moment here. All right. Would you rather your dad walk in on you and your dog having sex, or your dog walk in on you and your dad having sex?
Oh, 100% my dad walk in.
On you and your dog having sex?
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't like the look of betrayal. My dog knows that me and my dad have a troubled past, so it'd probably be a little like a shock to their psyche if they saw me and my dad with our history having coitus.
Yeah, you'd have a lot of questions.
And my dog's old. You know, I don't want to put her in that mental state this late in her life.
So you're banging the dog.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, that's already close to reality. I really like this dog a lot. We haven't made it that far though.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You know that, honestly, I've asked this question many times in my lifetime, and that is basically the only answer I've ever heard, except for mine.
And so yours would be opposite?
Oh yeah, I'm fucking my dad.
Okay. Why? Walk me through that.
Sure.
In full detail, please.
Yo, of course you're going to get the details. First off, my dog can keep secrets. She's not one of those super smart, like step on buttons and tell people shit kind of dogs, right? So there's no fucking chance she's going to accidentally let slip that she saw me and dear old dad having a rough playtime in the bed, right? Secondly, I am 110% certain, my dad has cancer, by the way, he's very weak, I'm going to be able to dominate my dad. So he's not fucking me. I'm fucking him.
Okay.
For sure. I'm the daddy in this situation. Secondly, like me and my dad's troubled past is why I feel motivated to fuck him.
Yeah, okay.
It's like you had your boot on the back of my fucking neck for so many of my early years with physical threats, anger, violence. Where's all that anger and violence now, Dad?
Yeah.
Boom. Done.
So do you think about, is this like a scenario you think about a lot?
I guess if you had to ask that, I probably think about it at least 20 or so times a year because I ask this question so many times. So I've really had to replay how this plays out. The other scenario that I want to bring up, you hear the door handle rattle. Now, what do you guys do when you hear that door start to open?
Is that the question?
No, but I'm asking, it's not rhetorical. What do you do? What comes into your mind when you hear that door opening and you're diddling around with somebody? Diddling was a bad word choice. I regret that.
Well, I mean, in the right context, it's fine, I guess, right? No, actually, no, it's a bad word choice. We're gonna stick with bad word choice. Damn. I would probably. I know I'm a bad liar, but I would probably shoot up and pretend to be doing something ridiculous, like fucking jumping jacks or something. I don't know. I don't know what my brain would do in that moment, but it'd be something very, very telling. Like it wouldn't help my case at all.
Exactly. Right. Like you're gonna be like, oh. No, you're gonna like play it off like you guys weren't doing anything. So keeping that in mind, I know if I was fucking my dad that this is very wrong on so many levels that when I hear the door creaking open, I'm going to have that same effect because it's like getting hit with a cold ice bath when you're like getting all hot and heavy. Then all of a sudden the fucking door flies open and you got to stop and like, holy shit, I almost got caught. I better not get caught again. I got to chill, you know? I think that's what would happen is me and my dad would get like 3 minutes deep and then the dog would like knock the door open. It would come flinging open and we're just be like, oh shit. Oh, hey, buddy, what's up? Hey, come here. Oh, thank God. Oh, that could have been anybody, but that was the dog. You know what? Maybe we shouldn't do this. And then I'd fucking dad, like push his face away. Like, fuck you. You suck, you piece of shit. This is what you're fucking getting us into. Yeah, you fucking suck. I just keep that power thing going. I'd be like, fuck you, you scumbag. You should have fucking known better. And then I'd leave.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of different people you can talk to that can help you through this.
My dad?
Not your dad. I'm afraid for you to have any more contact with your dad. I'm actually going to call the police, make sure they tip off your dad, and make sure he knows.
Yeah, so
this has been brewing for quite some time, I feel.
This has been 10 years in the making since the last time or the first time I was ever asked this question. So it's been 10 years of me really just like marinating in this scenario.
So was that was one question, right? What was question 2? Or was question 2 in there somewhere?
So I have a couple of questions. Question 2. If you had the ability to ejaculate any substance, what substance would you pick?
Oh, that's easy. That'd probably be either... My first thought was going to be cranberry juice, just because I really like cranberry juice. And that's what I'm drinking right now, is cranberry juice. But thinking back, probably something that I can make some money off of, right? Plutonium. It would definitely be something that would come in liquid form, right? It could be diamonds, but that would create other issues. But I'm going to... Plutonium. Final answer.
Okay, plutonium. So I'm torn because I think marshmallow fluff would feel amazing on its way out.
Oh, that'd feel great. That'd be nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Boba, I think would just... I don't think that would feel good. I think it would just be funny.
And it'd probably make a really nice sound, I bet.
Yeah, like I think the build up to the boba coming out would be painful, but by the time it actually got out, it would be like, oh, fuck, dude, that was amazing, Like when you're holding in a shit all day and it finally shoots out of your ass at Mach 10, It's just like what you've been waiting for. I think that's what the boba would be like. But then I'm torn because I think the ultimate funniest thing to shoot into somebody's face after coitus would be like a flock of birds.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, just like 3 pigeons.
If I was in the scenario and someone was about to ejaculate on my face, and it was like, if we're talking like white doves, like I'd be down. That'd be nice. That'd be like a spiritual experience. But if it was like fucking pigeons, yeah, and you're like swatting them away and shit because they're like disease ridden.
Yeah.
So you'd want the unfun route.
Yeah, I mean, maximum funny for me, maximum unfunny for whoever has the misfortune of sleeping with me, which is now from this time on my wife.
Yeah. I feel like you only got one shot with that, right? If it was something like white doves, you'd get this this kind of legend formed about you. But if you ejaculated like New York pigeons once, I feel like that's it for you. Like everyone will know. No one's coming back.
Well, the cool thing is that means you really got to work on your pickup game. You got to go to bars and practice picking up girls and really charming them. And I think if you're a real master of your craft, what you start doing is you actually start working into casual conversation that you do ejaculate pigeons and you still get them to sleep with you. When it's too late, they find out that you were not kidding. There is pigeons inside you.
Does that mean you were only allowed to ejaculate like outside, or do you still do this inside?
Whatever. Whatever floats your boat. I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum. If they want a couple of pigeons floating around inside them, that's their problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah. These are just normal sized pigeons, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're not going for anything like too big. We're not going like an eagle sized pigeon. I think that would be ridiculous.
And how many pigeons per?
Let me Google what a flock is. How much constitutes a flock?
Ooh, probably pigeons. I don't know, because they're not really a flock animal, are they?
Pigeons constitute a flock. Look at that. It's the first one. Whoa. 20 birds. Yeah, I didn't expect 20 pigeons. I thought like 3 would be enough.
Mm-hmm. Maybe like quarter flock?
Yeah, I think at most I'd be able to handle 5 pigeons coming out of me. I think 3 would be optimal. Mm-hmm. Because by the time the second one comes around, I'm kind of like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, dilated.
And yeah, you're quite dilated.
Yeah, so the first one comes out, I feel like that sets the tone. And then the second one is kind of more comfortable. And then the third one, I'm probably starting to feel it like painfully, right?
I feel like the first one is the partner you're with will probably just be like shock and awe, like, oh, fuck, there's a pigeon in here. But then as soon as the second one comes, I think that's when they start realizing, wait, there's a potential that these pigeons are coming out of this guy. And then by the third, it like seals the deal. They're like, oh yeah, this guy's definitely coming pigeons. 100%. Confirmed.
Exactly. The first one might just be confusion. Like, how did this pigeon get in here? And then, yeah, then she probably looks at my dick to see the crowning second pigeon. And then we're off to the races. All right. Well, that was, yeah. Okay. That was the second question. Here's one that's actually a little bit more down to earth and real. Are you a fan of conspiracies at all?
Oh man, I used to really be into conspiracies, and I still am in a sense. They're really fun. Like I like to believe in, not believe in them, but I like to look into them because they're so fun. And one of the most fun ones that have come up on my plate recently is the whole flat Earth thing, right? Because when you first hear it, you're like, wow, that's fucking absurd. But the things they believe, flat earthers, are really fucking cool. Like, if you ever, like, you should look up, like, a flat earth map. Like, outside the Antarctica walls is, like, other full-ass continents that are, like, from, like, a fucking, like, fantasy setting. Like, Alexandria, like, all these lost cities and shit. And, it's just kind of fun. It's like romantic, you know? Oh, that'd be really fucking cool. Now it's literally psychotic, but me being a fan of escapism, I really like thinking that, you know, our world leaders are lizard people and the earth is hollow and like, but not really. It's just fun. Real life is really fucking boring.
Well, I mean, there's some real conspiracies out there that have been proven to be true, like the tunnels under New York.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it a little bit, right? The Jew tunnels, right? Are we talking about the Jew tunnels?
The hidden Jew tunnels under New York. Yep.
Which is probably one of my favorite sentences. The hidden Jew tunnels.
I say it every week. I bring it up at least every 3 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how I feel with conspiracy theories too. Is like we see the world as it is. And it's the mundane. It's what we do every day. It's what we see every day. But then you get some people who come up with some crazy shit who are like, but what if the world was not the way you thought it was? And it's this fucking crazy way that I think it is. And it's more of just like, oh, that's a really fun thought experiment, because you can only have so many conspiracy theories be proven correct before you start kind of being like, oh, but there's like a kernel of possibility that maybe this crazy dude is actually right. Because how many crazy people have we seen actually get proven right over history, right? Like the Alex Joneses of the world, where he's just out there spouting crazy shit. Turns out he's just sensationalizing a lot of the stories he's seen, like the gay frogs thing. Like that's a real fucking thing. They are chemically changing or triggering the frogs' genders to change, right? So that's not turning them gay, but in Alex Jones's crazy world and version of it, it's turning them gay, right? I think you could only watch those things and declassified government papers and stuff come out to say like, oh, actually, like if we didn't make it to the moon, we're actually going to bomb Cuba and blame them and we're going to kill them for it. And it's like, what? If we lost the space race, we were going to blow up Cuba? Yeah, we were going to do that. And it's like, dude, that's fucking wild. So I've heard enough of those things to be like, kind of like where you're at, where it's like, yeah, most of this is just silly nonsense. And if it was cool, if it was true, that's cool. I'm mostly going to err on the side of caution and believe most of this shit's not real, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of this shit is real, which brings me to my favorite conspiracy, which I would give up so much for this to be real. I need it to be real. I really want Michelle Obama to be a man. Yeah,
that's a good one. I'm watching The Boys right now, the new season, and they do a lot of like poking fun at people that like that's a big theme of the season, is like they're poking fun at people that make these conspiracies, and hearing them just like spew off like these absurd threads to like making things like evil or whatever or awful. It's just so funny because that's real. Like people really do that, and I'm in the stage where like it's fun to believe in. Like it's like, oh, that'd be funny if that was real. But and I used to be really into conspiracy theories. Like when I was like a teenager, I'd be like really fucking adamant about like telling people and be like, oh, well, you know, open your eyes, you know, like one of those fucking nerds. Now I just straight up don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't, I'm just so ready for like shit to hit the fan, literally just for the entertainment side of it. You know, like, I don't care how crazy it is. Like, let it fucking happen. And I'll be like, okay, cool, sick. We're here.
Yeah, I'm dead inside enough and angry enough to where if a bunch of crazy shit comes out that our government's doing stuff, I'm just like, fine, everyone's gonna die. I'm going to be the one that kills everybody. I don't care anymore. Like, oh, Michelle Obama's a man. Fine, whatever. Let's have a civil war over it. I'm done being a civilized man. I want to be a fucking ape from here on out at this point. So it is what it is.
The scary part is like this being like the age of information. It's so easy to get information, but it's so easy to get bad information. And people will like fucking get themselves echo chambered into like this bubble of like incorrect information, like especially with TikTok and shit like that. You know, I hire young people like at Starbucks, right? Like that's like my demographic of the people, my employees are like young people. And they'll always say like, oh, well, I saw on TikTok that this, and it's like, Jesus, like that's where you're getting all your like concrete information. Like that's scary. Like what if that's wrong? Like I'll get medical advice from somebody who said, oh, well, I saw somebody on TikTok that they're a doctor. I'm like, are they a doctor? They're like, well, yeah, like doctor's in their name. I'm like, but are they a fucking doctor? like, are you sure? And that's kind of scary because like you can go on the internet and say anything and someone will believe it. And if you have the platform, man, you can like that's some fucking damage if you really wanted to.
Do you know what's crazy is like a couple generations before you and I, those people felt the same way about people who wrote books. Like I no joke, the lady that I was working for when I first moved down to Texas, she was talking to me about how like she wanted me to read all these finance books and self-help books and all this other shit. And I was like, fine, like you're paying me $1,000 to read like 20 fucking self-help books and finance books. Sure, whatever. Like it's win-win for me. So I fucking did it. And come to find out, one of the books that I was reading was written by a guy who is not a professional in the field that he's writing about. And he says this in the book. He's like, just so you guys know, because I got the audiobook version. And apparently, because it was such an issue in the book, like in the actual physical sale of the book, that when he did the fucking audiobook, he had to go on and be like, just so you guys know, I fucking don't study any of this shit. It's just a bunch of rules of life that I've come to find are good rules to live by. And it's like, okay. So I talked to her about that and everything. And she legitimately thinks that to write a book, you have to be like propped up by whatever field you're in. And it's like, you realize just to publish the book, you just pay a publisher money. And even if you suck, they'll just do it. You're paying them to do it. Fuck it. Like they're going to take your money.
Well, I mean, fuck, man. So many different like little pockets of thought and faith, religion is all stemmed off of somebody that is just had a really biased idea and people latched onto it, and it could be so fucking wrong. And it can create really scary pockets of society following one guy's words because he wanted to write a book about it or teach people about it. It's scary.
Yeah. So I have a question that's going to seem like it's not attached to what we were just talking about at all, but it'll all fit, I promise. Do you think that God is an omnipresent being that exists now, in the past, and in the future, all at once?
Well, man, I think now, I'm aggressively agnostic. I just don't.
Yeah, I'm not questioning what you believe in or what, but I'm just saying, like, if God were real and has the powers that we all are kind of taught that he has, do you think he's capable of existing in the past, present, and future all at once?
I don't know. That's like a whole other, that's like a fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson kind of question, because I think to answer your question, let's answer your question first. I think if there is a God, I think God was a being that did these things, and I don't think he's omnipotent at all. think that we could be some kind of fucking science experiment gone wrong. I could think that there could have been, you know, some kind of different race of people that decided to create life on this fucking planet or something like that. If there is a God, I don't think it's like people that think that God, like that Earth, planet Earth is like the center of God's creation is fucking absurd. It's like, if there is a God, then that had anything to do with Earth, then I don't think he's omnipotent at all, because the universe is too big, right? He's just some schmuck that wanted to do something on this planet, and he did something on this planet, and cool, good for him, right? But to think that like Genesis and shit, like him creating the universe, but then focusing only on Earth, like that's absurd. That's absurd talk. Like there's the universe is fucking expanding. You know, if we think that we're so special that God is only highlighting this planet, like that's insane to me. Like that's just insane talk. You know what I mean? Like that's just like, that's why I don't believe in God in that sense. If there is a God, then it's just not the way like Christianity believes in him, because we're not that fucking special. Is this going to segue into something like like not serious at all?
Yeah, of course. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
I'm sorry.
No. I was going to try to actually undermine what you were saying just by being like offended, but it's it was just funny because I was gonna talk about some dumb shit, and then you went on a very passionate rant. Now I have to undercut it.
I'm so sorry.
So I think we're mostly aligned on those things, as far as like, I consider myself agnostic as well, but I'm very open to like hearing about people's stuff. But I think where you're kind of going with it is like, I'm the same way with conspiracies, with government and religion and all that stuff, is like, if I like you were saying, if I can't understand it, or I can't find anything to really hammer it home and make it feel like whatever is being told to me is actually real, I don't really get caught up in any of the big feelings. This allows me to have really cool conversations with a lot of people from a lot of different walks of life. But either way, it's like I've lived with Mormons, I've lived with hardcore Christians and Catholics, I've lived with some of the most horrendous human beings on this fucking planet. Literally, like, whatever you guys think of when you think of the worst shit a human can do, I've been directly like side to side or side by side with those people, and you know, it's got its good and its bad. But I think this is what I really mean when I say I'm dead inside. Is like, I'm just, you know, I have my own morals, obviously, shit that I don't want to do, shit that I don't want other people to do. But also at the same time, if somebody's going to do something crazy, I don't mind listening to a crazy person talk. I'm not going to be like, fucking, no, shut your mouth, shut up. It's like, no, you have to let the crazy people talk to find out that they're crazy, right? I'm not particularly torn either way, but I would call myself a hopeful agnostic. I want there to be something after all of this. Do I think that there is? I don't fucking know, and I don't think I have any strong feelings either way. But you know, since we were on the subject, I figured I might as well throw my own thoughts and feelings on that out into the ether. But I was gonna ask if you thought, if God does exist, if he exists throughout time, that means he's capable of seeing like the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything that everyone's ever gonna do. And because I had a friend who was trying to justify to me that's why some babies die or good people die in horrible circumstances, is because potentially God can already see what they're going to do and they're nixing it. And I was like, then how did Hitler make it so far? You know, like how did all that shit get so close to working out for him? I was trying to go down that conversational route, but
yeah, people will talk to me about like religion and stuff, and they'll bring that up. And the thing is, and this is, and like, I like what you said, you're a hopeful agnostics. If it's real, fuck yeah, that's fine. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. Sign me up. But my firm belief is that if God exists, he cannot be all powerful and all good at the same time, right? Because if he was all powerful and all good, shitty things wouldn't happen, right? It's just how it goes. Hitler wouldn't have done what he did. You know what I mean? Like, there would have been some intervention. And so I'd like to think that if there is a God, then he is all good, but he's not all powerful. He can't fix everything. You know, he's just some fucking guy that's like, oh fuck, this is getting out of control. I hope for the best. You know what I mean? Like that's my playful thought, because if he is all powerful, then he's a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, he's a dickhead. So
I get where you're. Sniff. Wait, that's not the phrase. I smell what you're cooking. I'm sniffing your ass. I get you.
That's fine. Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. Well, that conversation didn't go the route that I didn't realize we were going to become serious for a second. I was fully prepared for me proposing something ridiculous to you falling for the trap, and then me going down some crazy fucking path of ranting. But here we are. Now people know too much about us. We're supposed to keep it mysterious. Is he crazy? Is he actually smarter than he lets on? Who knows?
Well, we started the conversation with fucking our fathers and our dog walking in. So I feel like there's a nice balance of entertainment in this episode, right? When we have that conversation and then have a serious conversation, I feel like no one can take our serious opinions serious because we just segued from that conversation. So I feel like we've instantaneously been discredited because of the prior conversation.
By the fucking the dad conversation.
Yeah. But that's okay. Yeah. That's just, that's how it goes, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wonder how my dad feels.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming you've brought this up to your dad.
No, we don't talk.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That only fuels the hatred more.
Maybe send him like an email, walking him through the scenario and ask him how he feels about it.
I'm fine. We're good. I just don't want to talk. How are you with your dad?
Me and my dad don't talk. I mean, we probably talk more than you and your dad. That sounded really mean. I didn't mean it to sound mean. But yeah, me and my dad don't get along. He's this kind of segues from the religion thing. He's very religious, right? But he, God, I feel like I probably shouldn't fucking talk shit on my dad. But he's a colorful guy, man. And him being Mr. Jesus-y with his past, I'm all for people changing, but my childhood was not a great childhood because of his decision making. And the fact that anytime we talk, he's like worried about me, worried about like my relationship with God and shit like this. And I'm like the only person in my family that hasn't fucked up, right? I have a good job. I have a roof over my head. I've never touched drugs. I'm sober. All of my family are alcoholics and drug users. So it's like me getting cast shade every time I get brought up just because I like don't believe in God or something. It's just so silly, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely how you make a black sheep for sure, right?
Yeah. So and my dad's last decade is just something I don't really agree with. It's just really, he has like, I have a brother now. I don't know if you knew this. Like he ended up marrying some girl that's my age. And you know, they're like super
Rock on Papa Whaley.
Yeah, he's like super hyper Christian now. And, you know, she's turning on mom mode for me and stuff, which is really uncomfortable. A lot of people that I knew and my acquaintances knew her for unsavory, you know, reasons, which is, you know, embarrassing. And they're like, oh, your dad's with so-and-so. Like, it's kind of weird, right? And they're very different now. You know, they're good, boring Christian white people. But now he has a son and I'm like supposed to like play this role. I feel like I'm supposed to play this brother role, but I don't fucking want to, you know, like I was the last Whaley and now all of a sudden I'm not the last Whaley, which is fine, but it's just fucking weird, you know? I don't want to like, I don't know. And it's like an out of sight, out of mind thing. I'm an asshole, right? I don't talk to my dad, whatever, right? If that makes me a dickhead, whatever makes me a dickhead, but he doesn't talk to me either. So it's like, I'm somebody that's so okay with abolishing relationships. Like I don't feel this deep-seated familial, I have to have a relationship with my dad. I mean, me and my mom are worse, you know, that's a whole other fucking story that I don't know if I should say on the podcast, but you know, we don't speak either, you know, so for much more darker reasons. Ominous.
Sounds like you and I have parallel family situations. I'm actually okay with my dad at this point. We did have like a rocky stint growing up and everything. He was like super aggressive to me, drugs, all that stuff. I think he thinks I didn't know, but I definitely found the crack rocks after he left me with my grandparents and he left all his shit. So he literally, it was like all his stuff and then his child like left and dog. Don't forget I was left with the dog as well. And then I like one day I decided to go back into the storage room and rummage through all his shit and see what was there. just to, like reminisce. And then I opened a little jewelry box and there was just little fucking crack rocks and some needles and stuff like that. So it's like, but yeah, so it's like we're actually okay now. I think, when you get to a certain age, I think you just kind of stop changing. And I think he's really desperate to make the family feel like he's changed. But yeah, when you're raised by a liar, you get really good at saying lies. And that's fine. If everyone involved in his family is happy and he's happy, I don't have anything to say about it. I don't care. I'm happy with my family. And then we can leave it at that. That's fine. If we want to come together and talk, cool. If not, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good mentality to have. I remember one time I found drugs. I found a bag of meth and in my house, and I flushed it down the toilet. It was like a good fucking amount too. And I was being petty, like, oh, you fucking leave this out, like you're going to learn. And it's so funny because you can hear the aftermath of that, of him freaking out, but he just didn't want to bring it up to me because he thought I didn't know, but I think that was probably the time where he's like, oh fuck, he might know, but I've known since I was a child, you know what I mean? And, I think fondly of that moment of like hearing the panic of like, where is it? And I'm like, it's gone, buddy.
Gee whiz, I don't know. What are you talking about, Dad? What are you missing? Why you look so fucking panicked right now?
Yeah, he went a long time not thinking I knew. So it's always kind of weird seeing. I love that he's different. I love that I'm assuming sober. I hope. I don't know. But I have so many dark thoughts about my father that I probably shouldn't have. Like I don't give him the benefit of the doubt anymore. And I hate thinking that about him. Like he's going to do something awful. And I think that's the unhealthy side of me, like of that relationship, like me thinking the worst in him when he very well might be a decent guy now. It's just like after fucking 30 years, it's just kind of like, it's really hard for me to trust his intent.
Yeah, that's, I'm kind of on that same thing. It's like, fine. Like when you talk to me, it seems like you're trying. That's cool. I'm good though. It's like you could stay right there. That's fine. We don't have to hug about this. We had our history and I don't hold anything against you or anything like that. It's just, I got my own shit going on. You got your own shit going on. We can just pass 2 ships in the night. Totally cool. My mom, however, dude, fuck Jesus Christ. What a fucking mess. What a fucking mess. And that's kind of where we go back to like what you were saying about yourself. It's like you feel like you kind of got all this weight off your shoulders and broke these generational curses and stuff. And dude, it's the same shit over here. It's like there's so many things that should have gone wrong with me, and the fact that like I have landed where I've landed. Don't get me wrong, it took me a fucking minute. I made some shitty decisions along the way. I also like flirted with the idea of being like the biggest fucking possible scumbag. But in the end, I made my choice and I peeled away and I went and I got my own life. And all the people that I fucked over along the way, I understand. If none of those people ever wanted to talk to me or see me again, I understand. I'm not going to make an argument to get you guys back in my life. I get it. I still fucking, without the assistance of somebody looking over my shoulder being like, come on, buddy, this is a really bad decision. Don't do this. None of that shit. It's just like, hey, should I do those drugs? Yeah, let's do those drugs, Or should I get fucking super hammered tonight? Yeah, let's fucking get super hammered tonight. And it was like the scientific method in human form. It's like literally just fuck around and find out was my fucking lifestyle for a long time. And thankfully, I was fucking around and keeping the data tracked in my brain. It's like, that didn't work out. Let's not do that again, However, with my mom, man, it just seems like she was just like, hey, let's just fucking just let her rip, dude.
Yeah. Our moms would get along, I think.
Yeah, the fact that I came out standing on 2 feet, family, only minor explosive anger issues at this point. It's only when I game. That's it. I don't fucking shout or scream at anyone. Like when me and the family are having a rough time, I'm not shouting and screaming. I might firm up my voice and stuff like that, but I'm not like, fuck you, you fucking stupid bitch, or fuck, like none of that shit.
Well, I think it's a testament seeing like that you did land on your feet, right? Like, it's fucking cool. I trip out on that all the time. Like I am the only one in my family that turned out fucking normal. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. And yeah, I mean, heavy quotations. I think it's cool. I think I take a lot of pride in that. And I think you should take a lot of pride in that. Like not turning out to be a murderer. There's still time. Right? There
is still time. I'm saving that for my 70s when I start doing hard hallucinogenic drugs. That's when I start murdering people.
That's enticing. Like, especially me being a sober person. Like, if we just both hit our 70s and just fucking started this crazy spiritually driven murder ring. Like, that'd be cool.
Start hitting lines of coke off each other's butt cheeks and stuff, dude. I'm telling you, it'll be like a third lease on life. It's like, you know, you get into your 30s and then you kind of have like a second wind of life. Like, you know what? My life's not over when I hit middle age. I got so much more left ahead of me. But then you hit like 60 and you're like, holy shit, I think it's over. But then you start the hard hallucinogenic drugs. You move into the woods. You kill a couple cats. And then you start working your way up the fucking food chain. You're fucking killing some dogs. Maybe a wolf here or there. Maybe a lynx wanders into your farm and you get rid of that shit. Next thing you know, a loose gorilla from the zoo finds its way over to your compound. You fucking blackjack it in the back of the head and you fucking tie it down to a chair. Maybe you torture it a little bit. Maybe you fucking cut its skull open and start poking around and seeing what parts of its brain makes its body twitch. And the next thing you know, you're thinking, I think I'm ready for a human. And then you just get it done. You know, find the first rapist or murderer that's registered near you. Go out, figure out where they go. Maybe watch them for a couple of weeks. See what kind of bars they like to frequent. See what their hobbies are. Maybe even pretend to befriend them. Invite them into a Discord channel and start talking to them a lot. Playing your favorite games together. Next thing you know, you guys are having LAN parties and meeting up and going to bars and going to, like, you know, group sessions where you're both trying to find like dating partners and stuff like that. You're doing all kinds of shit. Maybe you start a fucking local business. And then finally, when the time is right, 15 years down the lane, we fucking take hallucinogenic drugs and you and I look at each other, then we look at this fucking guy and we throw him into a fucking fire and then we dance around his burning body and then boom, we're good, dude. And then we can go off into the sunset feeling truly fulfilled.
So who's wearing the gorilla pelt and who's wearing the lynx pelt?
I'm wearing the lynx pelt.
Okay, I'll rock the gorilla. That's fine.
I've had a firmly held belief that when I do die, that I actually will leave society behind, drive as far as my car can take me into the wilderness, and then just get out with a single bag of stuff and then just live out there as long as I can until I naturally die, which I do believe will be some kind of cougar or some kind of large mountainous cat that keeps coming onto my farm and killing my fucking chickens, and then I set traps and wait for it at night, and then eventually I get it, but it slashes my stomach and then the innards come out and I'm just laying there next to its fucking dying body and I'm just looking at it. I'm like, you're a worthy opponent. And then I just fade out.
Yeah.
Filled with adrenaline, like the rest of my fucking life has been. Anger and adrenaline takes me into the grave. I was born angry, and I'm going to die angry.
It's very romantic. Very romantic. I love that.
Hey!